Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux for the weekly news roundup. Wow, I just made it only a minute or two late. That wasn't too bad. I had to grab a cat and finish adjusting things. Hopefully all of our screens are in place. Let me go ahead and double check on that. Yeah, all my screens I think are in place, so that's good. Woohoo! Wow, pulled it off. I didn't even have to grab the cat at the last minute. He was like downstairs. I'm like, man, I am not monitoring Discord today. If anybody jumps on there looking for me, just let them know I'm not monitoring Discord today. Just because, hey, I had to throw everything together at the last minute and I did not have time to grab the Discord computer from over there. I could go grab it if you really want, but should we do that? Let me know. Should we go grab the Discord computer? Might mess up the green screen, all that kind of stuff. The kitty ran away. I don't know. How are you guys doing? All right. Let me know in Discord if I should grab. No, I Shadow, how's it going there? Yes, I said the Arch was most stable for me as far as hard crashes in LTS kernel, but the applications had more bugs in the LTS release. Okay. Hello, Moonbase Alpha Grays. Greetings to you. How is the Moonbase? Renato, how's it going there? Necromancer, did you raise anyone from the dead today? Let me know. Syllaba boy, how's it going there? And yes, the kitty is indeed looking quite content. All right. Should we grab the Discord computer? Let me know, guys. Let me know. Somebody monitor that. If there's stuff I need to get, maybe I'll grab it between the next shows. Hello, Mitchell. Greetings to you. How's it going there? Kitty Linux. Well, the kitty uses Puppy Linux. Root minus some. How's it going there? It's very root minus some name there. I don't know. Very interesting indeed. Should we get a few more minutes or should we just go ahead and get jumping on in? We already have like 45 folks on today. It's shocking because like my channel has been dropping in recommendations lately. It's kind of interesting how that happens. I guess, you know, there's been another mainstream media push. All of us small guys putting out of the way a little bit. NSA issued a warning. Yeah. And I actually have 2 NSA warnings today. Isn't that funny? The NSA is actually... When the NSA starts warning us about the spying software, guys, welcome to 2020. The whole place is I mean, do we need to add that to our list now? Let's see if I can even remember my list. I'm going to have to write my list down soon. You know, the left-wing liberals in California are buying guns. Mexico closed the border with United States. I have to agree with both Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and even Google in some places. And now the NSA is warning us about spy tools. 2020 is so weird. Sudo apt install kitty. How's it going there? Discord is quiet for now. Let you know if anything changes. All right, if it gets busy over there, I'll go grab the Discord computer. Robert, how's it going there? Tom Slick, you're looking slick today. By the way, Toss, anybody in your trunk of your car? All right. Let's see. What else we got? Good eye, mate. How's it going there, Sleepy? I'm waiting for my tea to get cool enough to take a little sip. I'm afraid it'll burn my face off right now. Yeah, a little bit. They warn a Windows 7, not Windows 10. Yeah, we have a Windows 7 issue, and I forget. I have 2 NSA warnings in here. So, all right. I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get started in on the news, and then if people come in late, you know, the stream starts at 9. I mean, it started at like 9:02 today. I mean, I was late this time. But hey, it's rare that I'm late. Anyway, every now and again, we got to do that. Trunk is clean. All right, trunk is clean. Good to know. Good to know, man. Good to know. I might need to use it. The world is upside down. You know how we feel down under. There you go, all right? I know. All right, let's see. I need that. And what else do I need? I need that, I think. I'm not sure if I'm going to need anything else, but we'll go ahead and give it a try. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and get started on in with the news. Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. This is the Privacy Edition. We always start these at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday nights. So if you want to catch the news live, otherwise you can catch these little clips as well. Let's go and jump right on into the news here. The biggest problem with Microsoft's fractured TikTok deal. So if you've been living under a rock, yeah, in fact, I believe today was it? I think Trump's like, hey, we're going to ban TikTok in 45 days. Good luck with that. How do you ban an app off of a phone? That's very interesting, especially in this day of like Tors and VPNs and stuff like that. But basically, if an American company swoops in and buys it, then they don't have to close. Apple's like, we don't want to touch that crap. Facebook, I think Facebook says we don't really want to touch that crap either. I can't remember exactly Facebook's position, but Microsoft's like, yeah, maybe. If you give us like the whole world instead of just United States, we'll think about getting it. But there's been a lot of back and forth. Even this article, I think this one was from 3 days ago, so it's probably out of date. The information on the Microsoft TikTok situation has been going back and forth. I'm not even up to date on it anymore. But basically, Trump today signs the order to ban TikTok in like 45 days unless a company comes in and buys it. Microsoft's like, yeah, we'll think about buying that. But they looked everything over and go, you know what? We don't really want to buy just a little tiny part of the company. We want to buy a lot of the company. And so buying a lot of the company is something that they're looking at doing. And so it's kind of 50-50 if TikTok is going to be bought or not. And I couldn't really argue it unless anybody else knows more information about this than I do. But just grab your latest article and find the updates to see what the current status is. But it's not a clear deal that Microsoft's absolutely going to buy it. All right. Next, Twitter faces the FTC probe. So this is something that we covered this when it first broke a couple months back. It was long time. It was BC. That's before the coronavirus. So Twitter was caught with. Of course, they started being Gestapo, like forcing everybody to give up their phone numbers. Now you could still get away from it. Twitter does not have any of my phone numbers. I think I have business accounts with a couple of my different Twitter accounts. They don't have any of my phone numbers because you just got to dig into them a little bit and they'll reactivate it on the email stuff. But they were using all of those phone numbers. They were like doing forced Gestapo techniques to get all those phone numbers collected. And then when they would have those phone numbers collected, then what they would end up doing is they would then go in and use those phone numbers to use for targeting ads and sell those phone numbers to ad companies. This was a pretty big deal, and the FCC is reeling up right now. They're winding up. They're eating up their spinach. It's going to be called wackies, or it's going to be like, don't do that again. I mean, you guys saw the fallout of that huge Google privacy deal. Hey, sign in for your $12. Yeah, I'm going to sign in and get less money than it cost me to order a pizza. Nah. I don't need your $12, Google. Let's see. Let's see what we had here. In the filing, Twitter estimates the range of probable loss it faces in the probe between 150 million and 250 million, although it adds that the matter remains unresolved and there can be no assurance as the timing or the terms of any final outcome. So, they're just harvesting stuff. There's a common problem. Twitter is not the first social media firm to be investigated for exploiting personal information users provided for security reasons. Again, this is not things that you're giving Twitter for whatever purposes. This is not just you going in there and giving up your information. This is use this number for the security of your account, and then they use that information for other purposes later. Facebook had that push. That's kind of what happened in Cambridge Analytica, and that's kind of what's going on there. All right. This is one of the NSA rulings. We have a couple NSA rulings. So NSA is warning us against using the Find My Phone, but they're also giving us notices about Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. This is very interesting because as we're following the contact tracing stuff, it's supposed to be the temporary contact tracing stuff that we're just going to bake into the operating system. Yeah, I really believe that's temporary. But the idea behind these is like, hey, it just uses Bluetooth. Well, do you realize how dangerous it is to keep Bluetooth on in your devices? How do you know this isn't, where's my tinfoil hat? How do we know that this is not a tinfoil ploy? A tinfoil ploy to keep Bluetooth turned on in more places perpetually so you can be warned if you walked by somebody in a park who has the big bad boogeyman virus. And then you can be warned against it, but at the same time, anything and everything around you can track your motion. So NSA comes out and is like, hey, that Find Your Phone thing, that's something on the iPhones and things like that, but other services have it as well. These things require Wi-Fi, they require Bluetooth, they require GPS locations. And by the way, there's other things. So I actually just I installed EOS. It's a de-Googled micro G Android ROM on one of my spare phones to do a review on that operating system soon. And as I was digging through all the settings, like they have in there, and of course it's like all privacy stuff, but they have this stuff turned on for Mozilla's location tracking stuff. I need to look into that a little bit more to figure out exactly what's going on. It's just something I noticed. But these are the things that we're looking at. We're utilizing, when you keep Wi-Fi turned on, you keep Bluetooth turned on, you're using location services, you're turning on these where's my phone stuff. Even the NSA now is saying don't turn these on unless you absolutely have to. Quote, location data can be extremely valuable and must be protected. An advisory published Tuesday said it can reveal details about the number of users in a location, user and supply movements, daily routines, and can expose otherwise unknown associations between users and locations. Like, remember when Facebook started using locations and people who were customers of the same psychologist's office started getting friend requests or started to get friend recommendations because Facebook's like, hey, you guys all spend 45 minutes in this location. I bet you could be good friends. Yeah, that's frightening, people. That's frightening. Okay. Now, the cost of convenience. These features come at a cost. Adversaries may be able to tap into the location data, adversaries like the NSA, into the data that the app developers, advertising services, and other third parties receive from the apps and then stores it in a massive database. Adversaries are also subscribe to services such as those offered by Securus and Location Smart, two services the New York Times and Krebs on Security documented respectively. Both companies either tracked or sold locations of customer data collected by cell towers of major cellular carriers. So here is the NSA's recommendations. Disable location service settings on the device. I've been telling you that for a while. Disable radios when they are not actively in use. In other words, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, if these capabilities are not needed. Use airplane mode when the device is not in use. Ensure Bluetooth and Wi-Fi are disabled when airplane mode is engaged. Apps should be given as few permissions as possible. Guys, maybe the NSA has been watching my channel. I've been telling you all this stuff for years. Set privacy settings to ensure apps are not using or sharing location data. Avoid using apps related to location if possible, since these apps inherently expose user to location. If user location, like, here's the thing. Look at the permissions in an app. Don't just like brainlessly download. Oh, that looks fun. Look at the permissions. Okay, if it's a mapping tool, yes, it needs location. If it's a video game, there's no earthly reason it needs location unless you're playing Pokemon Go, in which case, burn it off of your phone because that's frightening. All right, disable advertising permissions to get the greatest extent possible. Turn off settings for Find My Phone, Find My Device that allow lost, stolen, misplaced devices to be tracked. Minimize web browsing on a device as much as possible. By the way, I'll mention though, if you use Firefox Clar, maybe a few other browsers. I'm not sure if the DuckDuckGo browser does this or not, but these do not even have the connections into using GPS services at all. So Firefox Clar / Firefox Focus, these ones here are better browsers for your mobile device because they don't even have the capabilities to access location services. At least not a lot of them. Avoid using anonymizing VPNs to help obscure, use anonymizing VPNs to obscure location. Minimize the amounts of data with location information is stored in the cloud. Like, This is the NSA. This is how crazy 2020 is. The NSA is now giving us really good sound advice about, yeah, maybe they're like, we're collecting too much data. We need to remind the American people to do this so we stop collecting their data. I don't know what's going on with them. All right. So Senator Ron Wyden is now introducing a privacy bill that would ban government agencies from buying personal information from data brokers. Yet another interesting case from Wyden. Like, can you do that? Thank you. Another interesting bill from this guy. What he's at play here is he's trying to remove what Edward Snowden always warned us about with the third-party doctrine. So the third-party doctrine is the Constitution prevents the government from spying on us. Okay? But Google spies on us. The government can say, never mind you. They're going to go right to Google and they request information from Google. Well, if you're utilizing Google services and Google knows everything about your phone, they can now grab that data from you and use it without going through the courts or getting necessarily the warrants. In other words, like, to ask them for the information, they actually do still need the warrant. But to buy the information from them, oh, no problem at all. So the bill is to introduce a law preventing the government from purchasing information from data brokers. In other words, all information about you still needs to come from a warrant is what he's trying to do. So that's kind of what is going on here. Now, before we dive onto the rest of the news, I do have some affiliates. So we're going to look at Pro Writing Aid today. If you're a writer like I am, I'm an author. I've authored 7 books. One is a science fiction novel called Synaptergy. And the other ones are 6 different Christian books out there. And I use Pro Writing Aid has always been a privacy focused grammar tool, very much like Grammarly as a competitor, except these guys have always been privacy focused from the very beginning. With my affiliate code there, tlm.li/PWA, you can get 20% off the yearly subscription or the lifetime subscription. So with that, if you are interested in writing and you need to do some better grammar, go ahead and have a look at Pro Writing Aid. Now for the rest of our stories. Let me close out Ron Wyden one. All right, so Windows Defender is flagging CCleaner as a pup. That's a potentially unwanted application. And with Windows Defender doing this, like, I completely agree. CCleaner used to be really good. If you've been living under a rock for the last couple of years, CCleaner, the company behind it, Paraform, was purchased by Avast, which is no longer a good company. They were a good company, but they became basically a spy and tracking tool. So CCleaner, one of the challenges is that CCleaner will, I believe it will install, some people say it will install Google Chrome. Other people might install Avast, I'm not sure. But it is installing some extra tools. Okay, so let's see. It is the other programs being bundled, including Avast Free Antivirus, AVG Antivirus Free, Google Chrome, and Google Toolbar. All things I would not want to do. But, you know, every Windows program does this. This is why you should switch to Linux. All right, but nevertheless, CCleaner used to be good. It is no longer a good company. As of a few years ago, so if you have been living under a rock, do get CCleaner off your computer and go with alternatives. There are some good Windows alternatives. I can't remember what they are. Check the comments down there. I'm sure somebody will tell us all about them. So anyway, though, Windows Defender is now warning against CCleaner. So, hey, I can agree with Windows on that one, right? All right. People will not abandon Windows 7. The OS is still found on a quarter of all devices, and some people still use Vista. Those people are crazy. I don't know who's using Vista or why. But the Windows 7, I get it. Because Windows 10's a horrendous, abominable nightmare. It's like, in a nutshell, Windows 7 reached its end-of-life extended support in January, so you might expect its user numbers have dropped drastically over the last 8 months, but you'd be wrong. The venerable OS's market share has barely moved as it remains on a quarter of all devices. All right, so first released in 2009, exited mainstream support January 2015. Yeah, it's like, maybe Microsoft should get the hint and say, maybe people don't like Windows 10. Maybe we should just go back and support Windows 7 for a while. I don't know. But Windows 7 is running on 23.34% of devices, just 2% lower than the ones it did in early January. So really hasn't dropped a whole lot. Very fascinating there. Poor Mac. Look at that poor Mac. And they don't give us Linux on that view. So sad. So elsewhere, in Windows 8.1, decline continues, yet it is still found on 2.87% of devices. Windows XP has 0.82% of the market share. And a very small people still use Windows Vista for some reason. Yeah. It's also good news for Microsoft in general. Windows operating systems are now found on 87.03% of all devices, Mac OS with 8.95 and Linux on 3.57. That's actually an increase, except I don't usually follow these statistics, so I'm not sure how that compares to the place I usually get my statistics. Why are so many people holding on to it? Familiarity plays a part. Windows 10 reputation for system borking updates hasn't improved. In the May 2020, caused plenty of issues, including the very annoying interconnectivity bug. Privacy concerns remain too, although Microsoft hasn't tried to address those. FYI, Microsoft has backported those privacy issues into Windows 7 and Windows 8, so that's not particularly a valid one anymore. But yeah, I will stick with Windows 7 before Windows 10, but that's why I switched to Linux, because I saw the writing on this wall, and that's why I moved my systems to Linux. And our final story for the day, the NSA warns Windows users, update now or face devastating damages. What this has to do with, I can't remember if we've talked about this one or not, but there was a big worm going around called Bluekeep that was impacting Windows 7. Now, Bluekeep is kind of like the WannaCry. Was it WannaCry? I think it was the WannaCry, where it's a worm, so you don't have to actively open the spammer's PDF in order to get it. It's going to get on your system if your system is vulnerable. Now, how is your system vulnerable? Well, if you have port 3389 open, which is a Microsoft Remote Desktop feature, you are going to be vulnerable. So as long as your router port's blocking 3389, your firewall's blocking 3389, you're probably going to be safe for this for the time being. Nevertheless, there are a lot of issues with this type of issue. It basically will get in and install a full Trojan on anything. Windows 7 is vulnerable to it because they have not pushed any updates. So you either got to get that extended update fee or upgrade to Windows 10, or hey guys, just switch to Linux. I mean, really. So that's kind of what we have going on there as far as the NSA giving us yet another warning. Hey, warning us about our phones, warning us about our computers, you know, whatever that happens to be. So let me know your thoughts to these articles in the comments down below. Alrighty, what is next? Next, we got, what's our main business one? Apple. Apple's our main business story next. All right, let's see if my tea is cool enough while I chat with people here. I didn't leave a track where I was. All right, I remember I was somewhere around here then. Email day, notice a class action settlement re Google Plus. Your rights may be affected. Yeah, if you sign up for the class action, you will see $12 maybe. But you give up your right to sue Google in the event your data is actually misused. LTS distros are better for software, and Arch is better kernel level. Just don't be afraid to use the downgrade command on Arch, and remember what you have downgraded just in case. 2020, not a bad time to live under a rock, to be honest. I agree with you. I agree with you indeed. You made the boot command in line. All right. Perhaps the word ban should be banned. There you go. Mark here. Great to see my brother again. Well done. Another 2 a.m. in Nottingham, England. Well, greetings, Mark. How's it going there? Might be crap, but it was worth a lot. Trump is such a commie protesting U.S. businesses. No, he's not protesting U.S. businesses. He's protesting Chinese businesses. If a U.S. company takes over TikTok, it does not have to be banned. Scientists rename human genes. Come on, man. I have that in one of my upcoming sections. So don't be telling us about that quite yet. Let's see. Pay attention. Doing all right. Thanks. All right. Most Americans don't get it. Yeah. Like an app that warns me that someone near me is using a tracking app. There you go. It's like what is it? Like a radar detector, right? Gonna chill with Slim Man. All right, Toss. We'll see you later. Do I work for the NSA? I can neither confirm nor deny my employment with the NSA, of course. Power struggle at the top, maybe. What's grammar? Yeah. Mike died, got wrestled in his sleep. Equals power vacuum. Mike died? Cleaner wants to install Avast or CCleaner browser. Well, I'd rather use 95 before Vista. Hey man, 95 was solid-ish. Windows Defender also blocks mini tool partition wizard. Linux is there. It's just right next to the X-axis. Oh, is it? I didn't see it. It wasn't. I was looking at the key, I guess. I thought that looked like it was Mac right next to the X-axis. Like Smith Mate worked just fine. Very good. Hey, Super Chat, thank you. Yes, remind you about the Luke Smith video. All right, yes, so I did watch the Luke Smith video. So, okay, so what he's saying is that we're going to start to see the System D model be patched in for the whole Linux kernel. So I agree with him only halfway. So what happens is if the people will get in there and they will... if the people get in there and they put in the Linux kernel as kind of like a modular add and remove things like Systemd is, because he's talked about Systemd, he talked about Homed, which is kind of the thing, this Linux modular Linux, like System Linux or whatever it was, is kind of the direction that corporatists would definitely want to take Linux. You just basically custom build your system. It would be a nightmare to update. A lot of what he says is true. However, where we have the divergence, where he's not right, is that the Linux community, because it's split, 50% of the Linux community is here to do corporation type work and wants that type of functionality. The other 50% is here to get as far away from corporations as we possibly can. And so with that model, how it is, if the Linux world can split into this modularized Linux and go become its own thing, they're not going to be able to get rid of all the licensing. They're not going to be able to do all that kind of stuff. The guys will just fork it out at whatever point they fork it out, create the new license, which is the same as the old one, and proceed on. And we'll have the same stuff as we always will have. We'll just also have this corporate monolith at the same time. So I agree with him that far, but I think there's always going to be a remnant that doesn't. That's my take on the Luke video. So thanks for the reminder as well. A couple months, solid usage, Linux growth. Let's see. Thank you again for the super chat as well, and yesterday's as well. NAS makes me want to drop Linux and BSD for Windows. What? Oh, the NSA? I was like, the NAS makes you want to? What? There you go. 100% going to be militant, yeah. Discord is still quiet. Yeah. Discord won't let us in. What? Okay, so Jeffrey, there was an issue with the Flatpak yesterday that it was not updating itself properly. So if that's the issue you're dealing with, remove the Flatpak and reinstall the Flatpak from FlatHub and it'll work. MS won't take of TikTok, just the US part kind of. Well, that's kind of what they're saying. Warning, don't get out of bed. Warning, don't set the time machine to go back to 2020. Might find yourself in a gulag. CJ Kitty Linux will be designed for the non-business Linux users. Well, CJ, though, uses Puppy Linux, right, Kitty? You use Puppy Linux, don't you? Yes, you do. I believe the large corporations have our best interests at heart. You may now hit me in the head with a hammer. All right. Flatpak being replaced. Oh no, Flatpak. Flatpak, where'd you go, Mr. Flatpak? 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I only have 4 articles in the business section? I should have another article in the business section. What am I missing? I'm missing an article here. Oh, that's the one I'm missing. I found it. All right, let's see. Compiled Zen kernel for Fedora 32. Now Skype for Linux won't launch. Interesting. Is there a big problem with using Windows 97 or Windows 7 right now? Well, it hasn't had security updates for a long time. So, you know, and there is a major worm for it. So if you're going to use it, make sure it's behind a serious firewall. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Now I think I see where we're going now. All right, are we ready? Let's go ahead and jump on over to the business news. The business news. What else do I know? Hey, Kitty, I'm just about to start a news section. You can't come up right now. I'm just about to start a news section. You can come up in a little bit, okay? You can come up in a little bit. Go lay down for a little bit. Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. This is the Business Edition. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern at Standard Time if you want to come on by and check us out live. So let's jump on into the news. So the electric car startup Lucid. Lucid is challenging Tesla's anti-LiDAR stance. So Tesla does not use LiDAR. It's one of the self-driving technologies that doesn't want to use it. Now, you might say maybe this is why it likes to accelerate full speed ahead into fire trucks. But you'd be wrong. Other things follow into that as well. In fact, there is, I think we're going to be covering some more about the crash tests with stationary objects on the side of the road in the smart section. But this car here, it is actually trying to keep LiDAR going with full freeway driving cars by 2023. Guys, this is the beginning of the end. I do not really want to be on the interstate with self-driving cars, especially after we get to the smart car section here on the next news section. But anyway, it doesn't like the phrase Tesla killer, but the comparison is hard to avoid. They raised $1 billion from Saudi Arabia 2 years ago. Great. How much you want to bet these things? Never mind. Do I really want to go there? I don't think I want to go there right now. Anyway, you could guess what some people over there might want fully autonomous cars for. Anyway, as a high-end battery electric sedan reminiscent of Tesla's Model T, scheduled to officially unveil the car in September, begin selling it next year. The major difference is that it is actually using LiDAR. And utilizing LiDAR, they're saying this is going to be a little bit better than Tesla's, although I don't really know for sure. I don't want any self-driving car on the road. I don't even really like a lot of the driver assist because it starts to make drivers lazy. And we'll kind of get into that. But anyway, keep an eye out for this firm. They are creating a new electric car competing with the Tesla, but they're taking the different approach using LiDAR. All right, next we have a new mini PC in the market, Seed Studio Odyssey. It's a mini PC for big projects and small wallets. So we actually have multiple LAN ports, USBs, HDMI. I think there's really only one HDMI. So let's see what else we have here. We got Odyssey is to the left, significantly larger than the Odroid. I'm not familiar as much with the Odroid. But it is definitely more powerful there, they're saying. So the OS, of course, it comes with Windows 10 Enterprise activated, quad-core cellular on J4105, 8 gigs of LPDDR4 RAM, a integrated Intel UHD 600 GPU. The Wi-Fi is dual-band Intel 9650 Wi-Fi 5 plus Bluetooth 5 with a 64 gigs eMMC SSD in it. Various connectors. It does have the 40-pin Raspberry Pi compatible pin. It has the Arduino header as well, so you can do Raspberry Pi or Arduino connections. We have an audio jack, a 3.5 millimeter audio jack. Oh, I love it. We have 2 Intel Ethernet ports. These are gigabit internet ports. We have a SATA port, 2 M2 ports, 1 B key, 1 M key. We have 2 USB Type A's, USB 2s. We have a USB 3 Type A, a USB Type C, a micro SD slot. We have a slim LTE slot, a SIM LTE slot, sorry. And we have some power. Man, that actually, I might want to play with some of these. This guy here is, let's see, Odyssey with activated case is, with activated Windows 10 is 258. I wonder if we can get it without an operating system at all. That'd be fun. But we can kind of see a little bit of specs what it is. So you guys that are the computer geeks wanted to play around with something, there is a new board to play around with. That looks kind of fun, kind of enjoyable. Wonder what you could pull off with that guy there. Here's various performances. OG homebrew router, so single-threaded, multi-threaded. We have Kano PC. We have the Odyssey Mini. So very compatible with the single-threaded, but with the multi-threaded, it way outperforms stuff. All right, we have Passmark CPU test. And what else do we have? Signbench. I don't do all these PCU tests here. Walmart Eva, why are you even comparing that? I don't know. Like, of course it sucks. Like, what can we find that's gonna suck to make this thing look really good? Walmart, it's got something. I know it. Okay. And here's application startup test. So there we are. So there's a nice new board if you're looking for that. So there's the good, the bad. They say although 8 gigs of RAM should be plenty, you can't add any more. So that's sad. Single SATA connector limits NAS possibilities. That is true. You might want to, what you could do with, what you could actually do though, just to prevent data loss is, what you can actually do with Open Media Vault is you can actually have an internal SATA and then you can have an external USB port and you can have them sync each other. So it's not exactly a RAID, but it's a pretty close to a RAID. That's actually an option that you would have for a NAS option. Let's see, assembly instructions for the case could be better, and the ugly getting those Wi-Fi antenna leads snapped on properly. So apparently there were some issues with that. But you tech geeks out there, there's something new out there to play with. This one was sent to me on the Discord server. I thought it'd be neat covering it from Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. PNC will terminate all credit insurance on consumer loans. This was an interesting article. They said register. Oh, I've reached the limit of unregistered articles. Okay, well, apparently they would want me to register to read it, so I'm just going to tell you about it. So what these people are alleging is that PNC said, hey, we had this loan and we wanted to buy this loan out, and with our loan, if one of us were to die, then this insurance policy would pay for the duration of the balance of the loan. And PNC's like, no, we're terminating this. So they want to sue PNC to say, you either have to keep the policy in place or apply everything we've paid to the balance of the loan. This was a home equity line. So they paid over the last about 10 years, they paid about $5,000. So the question is, can they really do this? Well, it really depends on a lot of factors. I wanted to do this one because it's kind of related to business stuff and I know some stuff about this. So the first thing that they're going to want to do is they're going to want to look at their contracts. So if you're in this case, if you got one of these messages, the first thing you need to do is look at your contracts. If this is a whole life policy, it is very possible that they are not allowed to cancel it. If it is a term life, as PNC says, then it automatically expires after a period of time. So those are the things you need to look into. So if they're just closing what was basically a whole life type policy, then they would actually be forced to transfer the policy to somebody else at the similar terms, because they could actually be opening themselves up not only for a lawsuit for the lost premiums, but also as a lawsuit for, they could actually get in a lot of trouble with insurance regulators in the state. So if they wanted to get out of this type of stuff, the best thing to do would be to sell these policies to somebody else. So I'm interesting to see what's going to go on with this. But I thought it was an interesting enough business article to throw in there. A little bit unusual, but hey, why not? Unusual every now and again. All right, so today's affiliate we're going to do today is A2 Hosting. If you are in need of a web hosting for your business, actually if you're in need of a website for your business, go ahead and reach out to me on my contact form on Switch to Linux or my business, westernmtnweb.com. You can reach out if you need a website, but if you're in need of hosting, this is the company that I'm using for all of my clients' hosting. We have shared hosting as little as $8 a month, or $9 a month, I should say. And you can start the server out for $3. Very good price there. We have reseller. You can do VPSs. So this $5 VPS is one of the ones without cPanel. You can actually get this automatically configured with ISP config, which basically is an open source form of cPanel that I am going to be looking at sometime soon. So with that, though, this is definitely a great place to have a look at getting your web hosting servers from. They're in the United States. They have a couple, actually they have a couple regions across the world as well. Every time I call them, I actually do get somebody in the United States. So I've been happily using them for a couple years. I encourage you to check them out. tlm.li/A2H. All right, so next, Proton Mail just got into the Apple Antitrust Act. So Proton Mail released this blog post on their page, how Apple uses anti-competitive practices to extort developers and support authoritarian regimes. So one of the issues here is that Proton Mail would kind of like to start pushing their client to various devices, and they can't because Apple is not necessarily allowing other devices like this or other types of applications to do mail clients on their devices. Now that is actually changing in the next iOS, as you can see from the headline down there. We're going to get to that story next. But what they're saying is, hey, we have too many issues where Apple does too much control and does not allow us to install applications. Once again, it's just adding yet another credible voice to the Apple antitrust debate. So let me know what you think about that. And for this chief story here, Apple now lays down ground rules for default third-party browser and email apps. So the idea here is that now you're going to be able to download an extra web browser, but also set that web browser as the default instead of being forced to use Apple's built-in applications as default. This might be part of their antitrust, but I don't know for sure. So developers can tweak their apps to qualify as default Safari or Mail replacements ahead of the release. So the idea here is that, yes, you can do it, but you have to follow several UI designs. You have to have a UI design that's very similar to what Apple does for the simplicity of using the device, which makes sense because that's Apple's biggest selling point, is being able to be easily user-friendly. So it's been a long time coming with iOS 14, 14 years coming. Apple has finally paved the way for third-party browser and email apps to become the default client on iPhones. While the feature isn't as rich as Android's, offering users to change the default gallery, photo, music, phone dialer, and SMS messaging apps in addition to browser and email, it's still meaningful consumer and developer-friendly steps from Apple towards making iOS a more flexible and embracing the platform for third-party Safari and Mail competitors. So basically, just Mail and Safari. Other things maybe in the future, but you do actually have to have a lot of the similar UI themes. There's a lot of things that you need to do, and they are actually giving the developers enough time to get into it, to plan it, to design it in order to qualify to be a possible replacement. So that might be good news for you Apple users that want to use something else than what their default happens to be. So let me know your thoughts to that and the other stories in the comments down below. Alrighty, let's go and close that. What do we got next? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do we got 6 in the next section? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Sweet. Alrighty, let's see. All right. Google isn't that bad, right? Yeah, you know. Not at all. Sam, replace DuckDuckGo with start page. Why? Because DuckDuckGo gives me really crappy results and start page gives me good results. And after talking with some of the higher ups at start page, I have confidence in what start page is doing. So that's kind of where I stand on that. Can't get my network to work with Zen kernel. That's because your kernel is too busy trying to reach Nirvana in the corner, dude. You got to give it a kernel that's actually active. Let's see. Don't have Windows 10 problems though. Let's see. Again, I have it as offline, so no worm is going to get in. Yeah, that's the way I'd run it. Yeah. Try Nitrix, Linux, KDE. Think about trying. No, it's on my list to look at. But I also don't really want to be doing a whole lot more distro reviews because every distro is becoming exactly the same. So we're trying to pivot to being more FOSS business centric with a few other odd grab bag items. I don't know, with a little channel shift, let me know, guys. Should I go ahead and focus back in on privacy a little bit more and reintroduce the tinfoil hat time? Would that be interesting? Would you guys like to see tinfoil hat time return? Let me know. Discord Flatpak will not uninstall, says files are missing. Are you doing it through the terminal? Try it through the terminal. Or if it says that, try reinstalling it through the terminal. And then if it still doesn't boot, uninstall it through the terminal and then reinstall it again. It should just be Flatpak, install FlatHub, Discord. I think that's what it is. If somebody please correct that in the event I'm wrong, but I think that's what it is. Self-driving cars seem as safe as autonomous kitchen appliances. Yes. Yes, self-driving cars are remote assassination machines. I agree. World full of self-driving cars is a world conceptualized as working computer. Yeah. We have almost all self-driving planes. Yeah, but self-driving planes, there's not hundreds of thousands of them passing each other a few feet apart from one another. Who's liable for the cars injuring people? That's a very good question that I think we have to have the answer to that set in the law before we allow these things on the streets. Remote some granny here in Toyota into a head-on crash while a whistleblower, with a whistleblower and call it an accident. Yep. He tragically died on his way to testify. Make a mini PC with 10 SATA ports and a lot of the NAS people will come right on over. They have 4 right now and that's not enough. Yeah. Yeah, my mini PC, like my mini PC has 2 SATA ports, so I did a is it a RAID 0, I think, whatever the RAID is with just 2 drives there. Okay. Hello, Any Creature Morph, greetings. Nice penguin shirt, must be a Linux user. I have Cody playing a video now. Very cool. Very cool. I had to fight with it a little bit. I finally got my Cody box being able to play YouTube videos again. Sheesh. Kind of a pain. Why does Snap have Ubuntu, Google, and Microsoft backing it if it wasn't designed for Linux? Yeah. Last time we tried tinfoil hat, I got hit by lightning. Oh dear. Yeah, tinfoil hats are in style now, much better than numpty muzzles. Yeah. Get your tinfoil masks out, or tinfoil mask. I should do that. I should come in with a tinfoil hat with a tinfoil mask. That'd be fun, right? Alrighty. Next is smartiness. Let's see, where do I want to do? Okay, I think I know where I want to do it. Smartiness, smartiness. Just feast your eyes on that headline, folks. All right. Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the Smart Edition. So let's go ahead and dive on into some exciting news. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you want to catch the show live. But let's go ahead and jump on into a quick update on the Garmin approach. Garmin ended up paying a multi-million-dollar ransom to the criminals using a REIT IR. Says some sources. The smartwatch maker had been targeted by a ransomware where some researchers believe was created by sanctioned criminals. Technically, they're not really supposed to do this anymore, but you know, it kind of depends what's happening. So, in this case here, what happened now, my biggest question is, did these cyber criminals steal the data before hitting it with ransomware? Because that's the in vogue thing to do now. In other words, are we going to see all of the data from Garmin health apps leak onto the web? That would be an interesting data leak. It would kind of confirm the things I've been talking about for a while. But regardless, what we're starting to see here is the Garmin, of course, was out. I think they were down for like almost 5 days or so. So many of their servers were down for about 5 days. And then what ended up happening is it was speculated they had a malware attack, and then it was kind of confirmed. And this week we found out that they paid a multi-million-dollar to the to pay off the ransoms. And isn't that exciting when the ransomware guys come on by and try to get us there? So, you know, of course, Canon's next. So this article came out. Canon suffers a cyber attack. 10 terabytes of data is allegedly stolen. And it is apparently another cyber attack. This might actually be very similar to the one that hit the Garmin approach. This is May's ransomware attack, which they stole the data and then encrypted the data. And so now we're possibly going to see a leak. Now, I mean, you paid the ransom, so in theory, the criminals deleted the data, right? Yeah, come on. Just hunt the criminals down and, I don't know, never mind. I'm not going to complete that sentence. So Canon may have been hit with a ransomware attack from Maze, impacting several services, including Canon's email, Microsoft Teams, USA website, and other internal applications, according to the article from Bleeping Computer. I tried to pull up the article from Bleeping Computer, but Bleeping Computer is trying to use a are you human thing that actually doesn't accept correct answers. So I might actually just be blocking it from my network for a while. Ransomware attack for Maze has resulted in the loss of data, private databases, and more. They were tipped off to a potential hack when image.canon site had an outage on 30th of July, which lasted for 6 days until it went back online in August 4th. They started investigating the outage after several status updates said that while some of the photos and the videos files were saved, 10 gigabytes of storage had been lost. There was no leak of image data, they said. So we actually got a chance to see there's some things here. Attention, what happened? I hacked your network. Now all your files, documents, databases are mine. Now, I'm wondering because I get some of these similar looking emails and very clearly they haven't hacked me. At least not yet that I know of. But anyway, Canon, they were hit by the stuff next. All right, and this one was another one sent to us on Discord from Bloomberg City Lab. San Diego has these smart street lights. So I actually talked about this a while ago. Like, San Diego's one city that has more surveillance than most other places. So what happens here is that they have all of these smart lights, which were supposed to be measuring traffic data and things, but it turns out that law enforcement actually has all of the data for these. So homicide detective looked up for the scene of a fatal shooting in San Diego's Gaslamp District in August 2018, saw something unusual. The street light glowing overhead didn't look like a normal street light. It wasn't. The LED light in the pole was also equipped with an optical sensor. It illuminated the city while capturing 24-hour video surveillance. We had no idea what quality of video would be or what it would capture, says Jeffrey Jordan, who leads special projects and legislative affairs for San Diego Police Department. The first time we saw it, we were like, holy cow, that's really good video. So apparently really good video coming out of these. So now, of course, in all of this ban the police crap, everyone's like, ban the police, ban the police, ban the police. And we wonder why our neighborhood's burning down. And, but now people are all mad about this. Well, maybe you should have just prevented the security cameras from going up there on every single light pole to begin with. That would have been the better approach. So anyway, now that this is going on, now people are actually starting to look at this kind of stuff and raising some awareness to all of these cameras all up and down the place. So whatever that happens to be worth, you guys can go ahead and if you're in San Diego, be aware all these video cameras are definitely around. All right, before we dive on to the next articles, my science fiction novel, Synaptergy, you can grab a copy of it. There's a variety of places you can buy it. Pretty much anywhere you buy books online, we will probably have it. I do actually have another round of stock came in locally here, so you want to order it directly from me. If you'd like to get a signed copy, you can order it directly from me. Just head on over to the author website link there on the where to buy. You can also pick it up on Amazon. There's ebooks from iTunes. I think Google's audiobooks is there. Kobo ebooks, Kobo audiobooks, Barnes & Noble ebooks, audiobooks, IndieBound. A lot of places, so you can go ahead and do that. On the website, you can read the first chapter, see if the first chapter hooks you, or you can even listen to the first part of the first chapter on my SoundCloud account, so you can actually listen to the audiobook as well. If you want more information or you want updates to what is coming next for the Synaptergy series, you can go ahead and click in on the newsletter and sign up on the newsletter. So let's go ahead and get on back to the news. All right, new cars can stay in their lane, but they might not stop for parked cars. So this is a driving test system from AAA. So they have a closed test track, and then they actually put up these fake parked cars in the road, and you can see that these supposedly really good driver system cars tend to run them off the roads. You know, in Tesla, they might avoid them unless it's a fire truck. Then it actually accelerates right into the back of the thing. But regardless, recent years, number of car companies like Tesla have begun offering driver assistance systems that that offer lane keeping as well as adaptive cruise control. That might seem like a big step toward self-driving cars, since a system like this can travel down the freeway for miles without human intervention. But a new report from AAA underscores the limitations of the systems. Most dramatic finding: the advanced user driver systems on the latest cars still struggle to avoid collisions with parked cars. Now, the reason they have problems is because in order to prevent the car from slamming to a stop in the middle of an interstate, if somebody left a shopping cart on the side of the road, or a refrigerator, as I saw once. How does a refrigerator get on the side median of Chicago Beltway? Can somebody explain to me? Regardless. Literally, true story. Driving down Belt Loop in Chicago, and there's a refrigerator on the side of the road. So in order to prevent the car from slamming on the brakes in the middle of Chicago traffic, they pretty much ignore stationary objects that are sitting in the road. So, and a big old parked car on the side of the road, they'll just run right into it. They don't care. So none of them actually successfully did it. So they tested BMW, Kia, Subaru. None of them actually successfully did it. They examined ADAS in the Cadillac and the Ford Edge, but the car systems weren't included because the driver assistance programs would not engage on the closed course. They were included in other tests conducted on public highways. Quote, all test drivers reached the general consensus that combining adaptive cruise and lane keeping functionalities in a single system did not consistently enhance driving experience. They said the vehicles made mistakes often enough that drivers found themselves experience nerve-wracking rather than relaxing. That is an interesting quote because I really don't want people driving down the interstate kicking back and relaxing. Hey, let's just relax and let the car drive. Because as soon as you hit relaxation mode, and then you're going to have a car accident where you're going to slam into the back of somebody's vehicle. And that in and of itself is a problematic thing. So I don't really want the drivers to be relaxing at this. Guys, I have crisscrossed the country more than most people ever will in their life. And I can do it. Cruise control's enough. It takes the pressure off, but keeps you attentive. Sure, you might need to stop at the rest stop to recalibrate your brain. You're going to need to stop for things here and there, but cruise control is enough. We don't need autonomous cars running around. Why? Because those of us who lived through Windows 95 and experienced boot loops and blue screens of death, we don't want to experience a boot loop in the middle of driving down the interstate like Honda happened to do. So in our next story here, Honda recalls 608,000 vehicles for faulty software. They would just do random reboots and problems with backup cameras. The problems with backup cameras, I don't really care about all that much. Like, look in the mirror, buddy. I mean, unless it's like a big, unless that thing's a huge cargo van, the backup camera is just a luxury. But a random reboot when you're driving down the interstate is a serious problem, and this is why I don't want these cars on the road. I prefer to keep all the computer systems out of cars. You do not need to do a firmware update on your computer system if your computer system is not accessible to the internet. Can we not realize this, people? I mean, really. So 608,000 vans and SUVs, faulty software that can, among other things, cause backup camera to fail, and the driver display to malfunction or reboot. The recall begins on September 23rd. The recall begins on September 30th. Oh, we have security issues. Don't worry about it. Just be careful for the next 2 months, folks. Certain 2018 to 2020 Odysseys, 2019 to 2020 passports, 2019 to 2021 pilots were outfitted with incorrect instrument panel and control module software. Can cause the display to not show critical information like speed, engine oil pressure, and gear selector positions until the car is turned off and on again. The displays can also randomly reboot. Malfunctioning software can also prevent the backup camera feed from showing up. They will notify the owners, but if they'll have to get the software reprogrammed by a dealer, no easy over-the-air software fix here. How exciting. Another recall involves 500,000 of the same vehicles. So, that's kind of what we're getting there. And on to our last story in this section. ADT and Google team up, folks. ADT and Google team up to create leading smart home security offering. Great, all we need. Nest cameras, by the way. Let me actually read the bullet points before I comment here. Google's award-winning Nest hardware combined with ADT's trusted security will mean absolute spying on everything with no more trust. All right, never mind. Professional installation and monitoring services. Great, we're going to be monitoring all of our Nest cameras too. To a fully set of device softwares for secure smart home. Google to invest $450 million and to acquire 6.6% ownership of ADT, cementing mutual long-term commitment to partnership. Each company will commit $150 million for co-marketing, product development, technology, and employee training. Partnership will provide customers with integrated smart home technologies to be offered in both DIY and professionally installed security offerings. One of these things here is to add Google Nests to these ADT devices. So now you use ADT, you're going to have Google products and Google services going through. They're going to put all these things in, and now Google can monitor every square inch of your house as well as everything else. That right there becomes kind of a terrifying thing. Do we really need this type of stuff? I don't know, guys. You let me know. This is a little bit terrifying. If I were using ADT, I would probably start looking for another alternative at this point. So let me know your thoughts to these stories in the comments down below. Alrighty. Let's see. YouTube changes stuff constantly to Bork downloaders. DL is very fast at catching up though. My back is hurting. Simply raise one of your legs higher than the other or leave the pressure. My back is not hurting. My back does need cracked though, and that's kind of driving me crazy because there it goes. I was like, I changed an exercise routine to be a little bit more rigorous than I probably should have, and it caused a little bit of a sore neck for about a week. Sore neck is gone, but one part of the back is not quite caught up yet. So we're getting there. We're getting there. But I'm getting old. I'm becoming an old geezer, man. But no, it doesn't hurt. It just needs cracked. But I think I got it. All right. Answer's not one you'll probably like because snaps are spyware, especially when Snapd sneaking in the back door. Let's see. 1.5 meg Logitech, LED, keyboard, driver. The Debian repo is 2.5, 1.5 gigs big as a snap. Yeah. That's insane. Canon sends samurai warriors after ransom thieves. They're finish your sentence. There you go. Hey, Kitty, we have one more section before you can come up. One more section, buddy. Then you can come up and get your kitty treats. I got hit by Grand Crab ransomware on Windows 7. Even encrypted my Dropbox files. Yeah. Careful with that. Systemd is not the problem. It's Snapd. It's Ubuntu that's the problem, which adds very much unwanted telemetry. 2.5 gigs, a flat pack. Ugh. A little big there. A little big. Who is the narrator of the audiobook? I actually narrate my audiobooks. The narrating a fiction audiobook is a lot harder than a nonfiction because I have different voices. And then it made me question because I have a black character in there, and if I voice a black character's voice, am I guilty of performing black speech? I mean, these are the things I was thinking about as I was writing it. But then, of course, if I don't have the black guy in there, now I don't have a black person. I'm not representing race. Crazy stuff, people. Crazy stuff. All right. Where's Farron? Got a question for the 5th anniversary. It's late. He's probably asleep right now. Farron generally does not catch the news because it's really late. More concerned about changes to Snapd in the future after users become accustomed to it. Yeah, I agree with that. What would replace Systemd in the first place that actually works and is able to handle problems without me needing to be a computer genius? SysV. There's actually a lot of ways. ET was just psychic preparing for Snapd. There you go. Way too many updates with Linux programs 2 years old. Don't even work on Linux because the code is expired or completely changed, so you need debug files. Yep. Yeah. Backwards compatibility is getting worse. Backwards compatibility has always been bad. Man. How much worse can it get? You turn your car off and on again. Zero latency quantum data transceivers will let child labor Bangladeshis drive your smart car remotely. Did you actually see that that's one of the things they're literally doing? Part of the 5G network and equipping cars with 5G networks is that in the fully autonomous smart cars, in the event of an issue, each car will have a guy there sitting in a model of your car that if there's an issue, some dude can take over your car for you. You can't take over your car for you, but some dude in an office building hundreds of miles away can take over your car for you. Kid you not, people, that is how insane this stuff is. System D is not an Ubuntu specific thing. Debian also uses it. Yep. If my Nest camera sees me on my skivvies, it'll be Google's loss. There you go. Ooh, the flat pack. Well, there was an issue with the flat pack. I wouldn't blame Farron on it yet. There was some issue with the flat pack. I had to fight with it a little bit. If we all wear skivvies, will Google employees quit? Yeah, there you go. Or invest in Kleenex. Ooh. Greetings, Mark. I thought I already got that message. Didn't you write that exact thing earlier? Well, hello to you in Nottingham. Are you the sheriff of Nottingham? If you speak like a Latino, I will praise you. Do I have a Latino character in there? I don't think I do. Recent sub, first time catching a stream. Just want to say I appreciate you putting your perspective out there. Well, thank you, Pseudomaxim. Always appreciate that, my friend. Welcome to the channel. Where'd you get the circuit board motherboard background? It is actually a photo I took of a old HP computer I had laying around. Semis must have a spare driver in the cab at all times. There you go. Have you ever seen the car hacking demonstration on Wired where they could take over a vehicle remotely? Yes, I have. Start a business to de-Googlify cars. All right, shall we go ahead and jump on into Sillyville? Let's jump on into Sillyville, folks. I'm just going to move that around. There we go. Now we're going to jump into Sillyville. Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. This is the Sillyville edition. These are recorded live Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to catch the show live, come on by, watch the kitty get fed, and enjoy a little bit of craziness and silliness to wrap up your week on Fridays. So let's go ahead and dive on in. First, scientists now have to start renaming human genes because Microsoft Excel is misreading them as dates. Here's a thought. Tell Microsoft, hey, we named these genes before you really existed. Change your code. Of course, that's too much. So what's going on? Well, genes have interesting names. If you ever actually did any scientific research, so I did my doctor's degree. I did interplay research between the proximal proliferator activator receptor, which is called PPAR, and the fork head box proteins, which is called FOXO1. And then in the middle of this, we were working with coactivators. So I was dealing with the LXXLL motifs. And then we were doing transfections and a lot of other things with COS1 cells and HepG2 cells. So with all of this going on, we start to see all sorts of weird things, and sometimes genes get interesting names. Like you had hedgehog, and then I kid you not, guys, they found another version of hedgehog that was more efficient as an enzyme, so they named it, I kid you not, Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, scientists are a little batty, if you ever wondered. So one of these genes happens to be the membrane-associated ring CH type finger 1. Makes perfect sense to scientists, but they abbreviate it March 1. The problem is you type March 1 into a spreadsheet, it's like, hey, that's a date, March 1st, right? So it wants to convert it into March 1st, and you have to go through and manually change the cells because there is not a way, the computer file's not like the cells in the body. But there is no way to turn this off by default, and so even if you have the spreadsheet built correctly and you send it to somebody else and they open it up, then it will convert all these genes to dates. And then nobody's going to know what anybody's talking about. And so some of these genes have to be renamed because of Microsoft. Okay, this is the guy that we want to trust with vaccinating the world. He cannot even develop software that keeps viruses out. Nor can he focus on software that won't change gene names for scientists. And we wanted to prick our bodies. Anyway, you can kind of see a little GIF down here. You can see what the genes are doing there. So this is MAR1. Oh, bummer. DES1. No. These are gene names. Gene names. I'm trying to think if I ever had to deal with these. I guess there's really no easy date for PPAR and FOXO1. But, even the scientists might fix their data but export as a CSV without saving the format. Those scientists might load the data from the correct formatting, the changing the gene symbols back into dates. So yeah, it kind of produces some issues here. So what some of these are, March 1 now become March F1, Sept 1 because Sept IN1, and so on. And so they're kind of working on some of these things to change what some of these are doing. So yeah, scientists are having a fun time with gene renames. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that one there. All right. Well, this interesting study came out, as you know, guys. And by the way, the CDC director did actually confirm this. We have actually seen more suicides among the younger populations than we've seen coronavirus deaths. In fact, I pull the statistics every year. Guys, turn off the media and read the CDC's website and drill into the actual real data. And then you'll look at this and go, what are we all concerned about again? Because the people under the age of 21 have 21 per 100,000 deaths. Now, if the United States has only had I might have the number wrong. Don't they have like 121,000 or something? It means we had 40 deaths among young people. Okay? We've had way more suicides and other things like that. So in the middle of all this, some people are sort of looking at this going, oh man, we have serious depression coming out. But it turns out that some places are kind of happy, and some research was done, and we found that there's lithium in some of these. So is this going to turn into one of these, like, Brave New World approaches? Here, I know life sucks. Just take a little bit of Soma. It'll be okay. Or, we're going to lock everybody down, so let's go ahead and start lacing the drinking water with lithium to make everybody feel happy for a while. Now, this study isn't saying we've laced people's drinking water and done the research. The study was analyzing drinking water among people who they thought might be depressed but weren't, and found that they had a lot of naturally occurring levels of lithium in the water. Of course, if you don't know like the history of 7-Up, the reason I have 7-Up in the name Up, it's upper. It makes you happy. The original formula for 7-Up contained lithium, which at that time was used as a mental stimulant to make sure that you were happier. It made you up. It made you excited. It was a drug used to treat mental patients, particularly those with depression. So what they're finding is that a similar compound of lithium is found in populations of people who are cheerier than they probably should be given their circumstances. Where I have a deeply seated concern about this, and I might need my tinfoil hat here, is that we're going to lock people down. We're going to see depression. Well, let's just go ahead and add some lithium to the city water supply to help people out. Guys, it's no different than issuing Soma in Brave New World. Life kind of sucks. Let's just put myself on a Soma holiday for a while. It's okay. Lock the city down and just put the extra dose of lithium in those people's water. But this is a little bit of concerning, but it's also a little bit on the crazy side. But absolutely, keep an eye on this. This is interesting stuff. I'm curious to see where this is going to go. All right, before we continue on, if you like the channel, you want to help support what I'm doing, have a look at our affiliates page, switchedtolinux.com/affiliates. We have a lot of different affiliates here. Of course, Amazon, if you do any shopping on Amazon, you can use our affiliate link. It doesn't cost you anything more. The channel will get a small amount of money to help keep us running. We also have Mint Mobile cell phones, grammar checkers at Pro Writing Aid. We have several web hosting and VPNs and some podcast hosting. So have a look at the affiliates page, switchedtolinux.com/affiliates. All right. And next. Cat detained for smuggling drugs escapes a Sri Lankan prison. You heard that right, folks. You heard that right. That's right. So there was a cat that was being trained to smuggle drugs into prisoners. They would put the little bit of drugs in the kitty's collar and then train the kitty which prison to go to. The prisoners go up, they pet the kitty, take the drugs out. Basically, the cat's starting to smuggle drugs. So the cat was detained. They kidnapped the kitty, they threw the kitty in jail. They're waiting to figure out who in the world this cat belongs to, and the cat breaks out of jail. So now they have the drug smuggling cat has escaped from prison, and so they're trying to track down the drug smuggling cat. Very interesting indeed. Don't feel safe anymore with dreaded criminals like these roaming around freely. That's right, guys. That's right. So be careful. Be careful of drug smuggling kitties running around. Apparently there was a kleptomaniac kitty cat caught stealing the neighbor's clean laundry, bathing suits, socks, and more. Actually, they think that this cat has actually there were some drug smugglers who were actually training an eagle to smuggle drugs. These people are pretty bold. They got the eagles, they got the cats. I wouldn't mess with these people. They might be training some assassination dogs or something. I played Black Ops. I don't want my enemies to get attack dogs out. Oh no. Come on, guys. I wouldn't be messing with these guys. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts on those. All right. And our final story today, you guys remember the Twitter hacker, the young Twitter hacker who was caught. He was arrested. He had his hearing, of course, on Zoom because of the kufi. So they're in the middle of the hacker's court hearing, and they got hacked with a Zoom bomber playing some videos. It was getting saucy in that courtroom. A little warm under the cover down there, forcing the judge to have to close out the hearing. So Zoom bombers disrupted a court case involving the Florida teen accused of masterminding a takeover of high-profile Twitter accounts, forcing the judge to stop the hearing. During the hearing, the judge and attorneys were interrupted several times by people shouting racial slurs, playing music, and showing pornographic images. ABC Action News in Tampa Bay wrote, Pornhub videos forced the judge to temporarily shut down the hearing. Zoom bombing occurred today when the 13th Judicial Circuit Court in Florida and Tampa had held a bail hearing for Graham Clark, who pled not guilty and is reportedly being held on $725,000 bail. Clark faces 30 felony charges related to the July 15th Twitter hack, in which the accounts of famous people like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Joe Biden were all hijacked and used to push cryptocurrency scams. Hackers also accessed direct messages. Makes you wonder, was it his buddies? Like, yeah, catch this out, buddy. All right, but judge will require a password next time. Well, where you been living? This has been a problem for a long time. You're supposed to start this. But anyway, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. I forgot to record that section, guys. I'll pull it off of the live video when it's done. Hopefully I'll be able to grab it. Yeah, let's see. Hello, Anna Rita. Greetings to you. Oh, kitty. Post a link for download. Looks like it would be a great wallpaper. If I remember. I thought I had it somewhere. Hello. How are you doing? Anna Rita, where's my digital girl? Alrighty. Here, kitty. Have a seat. Let's see. Found out his car may be remotely hacked. Let's see. Sorry I'm late. I was reading and helping the wife with some cooking. Hey, there you go. Hey, better late than never, right? Isn't there just a setting to turn off the auto format in Excel? I thought so, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't use Excel anymore. Windows Excel declared Pluto as part of a tri-planet correctly 8 years before our probe flew by it. Ooh. Surely there's an option. Let's see. Necromancer, life has been good since working again, making money no longer with the stomach flu. All right. That's why I like 7-Up. Yeah, you know. Can your employer force you to take a vaccine? Well, it depends on who your employer is. So, like, my mother works in a hospital, and they either have to get the flu vaccine or they have to wear a mask at all times at work. So they have an option at my mother's hospital anyway. Bad enough they put sodium fluoride in water. That's already a toxin. Yeah. Let's just make everybody happy with polluting the water with stuff. When will they end? You know. This is why in Holland we have democratically elected water management. Yep, we have separate water management elections. That's equal parts interesting and frightening. Hey man, just cut out the middleman. Just put lithium fluoride in the water. It'll be all right. Only take the lithium water if I can get some estrogen shots too. There you go. Lacing drinking water with helium makes everyone sound like chipmunks. Hey man, we can tell which place was hit by the water. Don't get sick, but my home daycare kids got the flu, so it's a matter of time. Yeah. Sri Lankan prison, that cat's hardcore, I'm telling you. What do you think, Kitty? It was you, wasn't it? It was you, wasn't it? You escaped from the Sri Lankan prison, huh? She's going on vacation a lot. Gonna be getting some money somewhere. That's right. Yeah, the kitty. I was wondering where the kitty's getting all this money from. It was you, wasn't it? It was you, you smuggler. He's gonna be starring in a new TV show, Breaking Cat. Scientists have been trusting gene data with MS Word. Yeah, I'm telling you. Well, yeah, I mean, we used Microsoft Office when we were there. Yeah, it was my cat. I was framed. Fluoride is actually bad for teeth. The body uses fluoride to build bone instead of calcium, causing it to be brittle. Yes, I agree. Still wearing 2 pairs of socks because of cold weather? It's so hot there. All right. Uh-oh. Caught committing the perfect crimes. That's right. Says I'm right from using Zoom. Kitty on vacation or is it a drug mill? I was wondering if he was in Sri Lanka. He kept on saying, I'm going to be in Sri Lanka. Just don't ask where I'm going. But, you know. Try the latest Linux kernel and LibreOffice. I tried LibreOffice, does not work. My latest LibreOffice does not work on this computer, but it does actually work on other ones. So I haven't played around with it a lot. Latest Linux kernel, let's see, it depends. I updated the Arch system, I think, yesterday, So if it's yesterday old, then yes, I'm on the latest Linux kernel. I don't even know. If a cat can be trained to deliver drugs, then who has the fat cat in charge of its training? That's right. I mean, cat burglar stealing catnip? That's right. CJ, your girl is, I don't know. She's around. All right. Hey, CJ, call your digital girl, CJ. Cat is me. There you go. Catnip, the introductory drug. They call it the gateway drug, yeah. Or skooma. Using kitty treats to the PC might have a nasty accident. Are you blackmailing me? Are you blackmailing me? Good thing this isn't Kentucky. He might be Black Lives Mailing me. He actually doesn't like catnip. Private hospital vaccination is required for you. All right. Vaccination enforcement will only be needed if you like your job. There you go. Downloaded Skooma mod in Skyrim. Changed it to the colors of the game. See those throwing lithium in water videos? I didn't actually see those. Breaking Cat t-shirt confirmed. Uh-oh. One day you're just doing a little bit of recreational catnip. Next thing you know, your cat's a lamb for the Sri Lankan prison. That's right, kitty cat. That's right. It was you, wasn't it? MX has a Cinnamon desktop in the repo. I know, but if I wanted to run Cinnamon on my writing computer, I'd run Linux Mint. I'm running MX with XFCE because that computer is super light. Catnipathon. Hey, kitty. You want some kitty treats? Do you want some kitty treats? Do you want kitty treats? Tired. Couldn't think of a term gateway drugs. I had to improvise. There you go. Hey, kitty. You want some kitty treats? You want some kitty treats? Do you want some kitty treats? Come here. Oh, boy, kitty. Oh, boy. Temptations, if you want to sponsor this nonsense, Temptations, that'd be awesome. Oh boy, kitties. Yes. Yes. Oh boy. And one more for ya. Oh, are they finger licking good? They are. They're finger licking good. Where did I get my hat? A forensics workshop. I did some forensics chemistry stuff a while back, and that was actually kind of fun. We're doing a variety of different forensics and stuff, and during the one day we're going to be looking at the various DUI tests. So he was going to walk us through a lot of the DUI things. He's like, all right, we need somebody to go get drunk. He's like, here's $100. Don't come back until you're sloshed. You know? So we had him went out with a designated driver, and that guy ended up being like super late. We're like, oh boy, we just gave two guys a pile of cash and told them to go get drunk in a town neither one of them's ever been in. And so they go out, and he comes back, and we were able to do all the breathalyzer stuff and things like that. But yeah, we did drug testing. I think we did some FTIR stuff. No, we did let's see. GCMS is what we were doing. So we actually did some GCMS on some cocaine samples, actually. Then we did some arson work, and it was kind of fun. I actually won the hat for bagging the bat. So one of the people in our workshop got bit by a bat when we were there, and we had to capture the bat to make sure it didn't have rabies. And so I was the one that actually captured the bat. So for capturing the bat, they gave me a hat. So, interesting stuff. But yeah, so that's the story of the hat. Let's see. Gotta go. Laptop battery about to die. See you later. Temptations is a gateway to catnip. The more you know. Yeah. CJ, just don't turn around because you know your boot hole will show. It will need to be a patch. I wonder if Kitty is bullying Tom for treats. He is. He is indeed. Let's see. Farron being written over. There's something breaking down. System lockups. Flatpak is literally unreadable. Interesting. Okay, yeah, maybe it is that. I know I had issues with it yesterday on Arch, so. Pretty cool hat, but the fact there's a story makes it much better. Oh, I know. Then the story's just so fun, too. Type of bat now. We were on the East Coast. We were in, it was in Wilmington, Massachusetts. So whatever kind of bat would be in Wilmington, Massachusetts. All right. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up right here, folks. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. And we will catch you guys next time.